It's been a while since I've been able to compare the Acer Nitro 5 to the HP Victus. Two budget-friendly laptops with great build quality. They have, more affordable materials, but the assembly on the laptops is good, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes. Do note that the performance section coming up later in the video is going to feature both of these laptops with the same processor, but different GPUs. And I did that so you could see kind of the range in performance between these two laptops. So if you wanted to get a little bit more performance out of either one, depending on which one you like build quality on most, then you'll know what the i5 processor matched with the different GPU is capable of. And that was the point of having slightly different specs in this review. Basically helping you knock out multiple thought processes with one video. Trying to bring you guys as much value in the littlest amount of time as possible. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's look at the build quality of these two laptops. They both have good build quality and good assembly, though they do have plastic materials because they are more budget-friendly laptops. Let's kick it off with just a simple tap test to see how the materials sound and are assembled on the laptop. So the top cover of the HP Victus and the top cover of the Acer Nitro 5. Both sound pretty good on the top cover. Let's check out the bottom cover. Get a little rattly on the outside here on the Nitro 5. Little rattly there on the Victus. I would say they're both pretty much the same though. I like the look of the materials a little bit more on the Victus. They look a little bit more refined. The Acer Nitro 5 kind of has that granulated sandpaper look of just kind of the more traditional gaming laptop, where this has more of like a refined, it almost has like a metallic kind of aluminum look to it, though it's not aluminum, it is plastic. It just has a little bit, more premium look to it compared to the Nitro 5, but both assembled well. I'm going to show you here the assembly along the bottom of the chassis where the bottom cover fits into the side panel. As you see, there's no edges kind of sticking out or anything here on this HP Victus. And then for the Acer Nitro 5, same thing. The bottom cover fits into the side panel very nicely. No catchy edges here on it. It just is assembled well. All right, let's go ahead and check out the ports before we move on to the interior of the laptop. So on the Acer Nitro 5, you can actually see that we have some ports along the back of the chassis, HDMI, USB Type-C, and your power adapter. On the left side, we have our RJ45 Ethernet port, USB Type-A, and a headphone jack. And on the left side, we have two USB Type-A's. A little bit less connectivity than the HP Victus. On the Victus, we have an SD card slot. We have a headphone jack, a USB Type-C, USB Type-A, HDMI, network port, Ethernet, and then your power adapter. And then on the other side, we have two USB Type-A's. So we have the same amount of USB Type-A, but we do have the additional port of the SD card slot. And if you're an on-the-go creator, that could be a really big value to you. Say you're a video editor or photographer, being able to just slide that SD card in real quick without any dongles could be a big bonus. All right, let's go ahead and open and close the lids to see how well they open and close quickly. And then we'll do a quick screen flex test. So open and close easily with one hand, no issues. It slid a little bit there. It's like the Nitro slid when I try to get a little fast, but when I do it slow, open and closes with one hand very easily. Let's go ahead and do a quick screen flex. The screen flex on the Victus is quite noticeable, and the Acer Nitro 5 about the same. The HP Victus honestly feels a little bit more flexy. It could be the fact that the screen is slightly larger on the HP Victus. So as you can see here, I'm going to put the two screens side by side. And as you can see, this is a 16-inch panel, just a little bit bigger up there, adding some room up there, compared to the 15.6-inch panel. So if you're looking for a slightly larger screen, I would go with the Victus. Now that we have them open, let's take a look at the keyboard decks really quickly. Personally, I like the keys on the Acer a little bit better. I like the key that kind of slopes a little down towards the middle, and they have a bit of a softer feel. The HP Victus keys feel a little on the plasticky side, whereas the Acer feels a little softer, more of a soft touch feel. However, when we shift over to the trackpad, you can see that the trackpad is quite a bit bigger on the HP Victus compared to the Acer Nitro 5. But overall, keyboards are very similar. You're going to have a numpad on both of the keyboards. I will point out that I do like the larger full-size shift key on the Victus. I'm a big full-size shift key fan. I always end up missing the 2/3 shift key when they do that. They go for the larger arrow keys. I personally prefer the smaller arrow keys over shrinking the shift key for full-size arrow keys. But again, those are more just kind of preferential details. Now they both have webcams, and so here's a quick sample of the webcam on each laptop so you can see what that looks like. This is the webcam on the HP Victus and a little bit of an audio sample for you as well. This is the webcam on the Acer Nitro 5 and a little audio sample for you as well. Now, so you can get a quick sample of what the keyboard sounds like and the trackpad in use. Here's a sample of those two items in use. And then of course, the speakers on the laptops, we want to hear how those sound. So here's a quick audio sample of each of the speakers in use. Now these two laptops are equipped with very similar specs, but slightly different battery sizes. So let's go ahead and check out the battery life results of each of these laptops. And as you can see, the Victus has a slight advantage over the Acer Nitro 5. It has a slightly larger battery, and that is giving us a little bit more battery life. Not a lot more, but definitely a little more battery life. Now, right before we get into the performance benchmarks, you can take a look at the thermals, and they're quite close as well. These i5 processors do a good job of staying cool, and so you can see here in the 4K export thermal results, each of the laptops finalized thermals and export times. Now, without further ado, let's get into the performance benchmarks. And first and foremost, let's get into Geekbench single core and multi-core, as well as Cinebench R20 and R23. And as you can see inside of Geekbench single core and multi-core, the HP Victus comes in slightly above the Acer Nitro 5. Getting into Cinebench R20, it actually switches around, but not by a ton of points. So these two are kind of playing neck and neck here in Geekbench and Cinebench R20. And then you get into R23 and they are tighten up the gap even closer in both single core and multi-core. So the simulated benchmarks are always a tough sell for me. I don't love them, but I know everybody likes to see them. And so I put them on there and just kind of chat through them a little bit. Now looking at Blender, you can see that it makes a difference going with 6 gigs of VRAM with the RTX 3060 over 4 gigs of VRAM with the RTX 3050 Ti. So if Blender is important to you, I would make sure you get the laptop equipped with the RTX 3060 for that optimal performance inside of Blender. Now moving on to Autodesk 3ds Max and Autodesk Maya, you can see that there is a big difference in choosing the RTX 3060 here as well. And then moving on to PTC Creo and Solidworks, once again, those extra 2 gigs of VRAM are making the big difference. So if you like the Acer Nitro 5 chassis and build, and you just want that kick in performance, I would choose to find a model with the RTX 3060 over the 3050 Ti. Now, looking into After Effects, you can see that they are pretty much neck and neck. So the VRAM didn't make as big of a difference here. So the i5 12500H with the 16 gigs of RAM is pretty much neck and neck here. The GPU didn't make that much of a difference. So if you're an After Effects user, you can save a little bit of money and go with that less expensive 3050 Ti. Looking at Photoshop, this one actually surprised me. We're seeing a big difference in that 2 extra gigs of VRAM. I say you don't need a dedicated GPU for Photoshop, but in the benchmark and in some of the specific tasks inside of Photoshop, you're gonna get a benefit off of the more powerful GPU. Now let's jump into video editing, and without a doubt, the RTX 3060 inside of the Victus is gonna prove valuable, especially if you're gonna be somebody using 6K footage in your timeline of Premiere Pro. If you're a 4K video editor, you don't really have to worry so much about the more powerful GPU, but if you're shooting 6K like myself, I shoot 6K B-RAW, and that extra GPU performance is really gonna be crucial for you. Now looking at drop frames, it really wasn't a huge difference for 4K or 6K B-RAW, but if you're looking to edit red footage, then that extra 2 gigs of VRAM did make quite a big difference. But I don't know a ton of people who are editing red footage and looking for a very budget-friendly laptop, because red cameras are just ridiculously expensive. But if you are, that extra 2 gigs of VRAM will be helpful to you. Looking at the 4K video editing export time results, you can see that the results are kind of bouncing back and forth between these two laptops from Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve. Brands optimize the components differently inside of the chassis they have. They have different cooling systems, different thermal management ideas, and so that's where you kind of see the flip-flop coming back and forth. Now, personally, between these two laptops, I would choose the HP Victus because I like the overall aesthetic and build of the laptop. That's not to say I don't like the Acer Nitro 5 for some things. Like, I really like the keyboard deck, and I like that the screen is attached by these 2 hinges rather than this kind of one singular big hinge, because it gets a little pressy in the middle there. This one doesn't really press as much. So there's some nuances that I like compared to the two, but overall, I really think I'm digging the Victus. But go ahead and comment below and let me know what you think, which one you're considering choosing between these two laptops. Links in the description if you're ready to make a purchase, likes if this video has brought you some value, and subs if you don't want to miss out on the future uploads. I'll see you here in the next one.